Hello, hello, hello. What is good? Shouts to everyone who's here. Just a second. Hello. Is that who I think that is? I
Are
know
we live?
that's not who I we are indeed. Is that who I think that is?
Who, me?
I know that's not who I think that is. Hold on, just a second. Oh, whoa. We are indeed live. Hello, everyone
Hell
who's
yeah.
here. Let me just make sure. We got Brandon King using the member Adventure Time emotes. Absolute legend. Shouts to Marceline. She's digging for gold. And Finn, he's doing his thing. I hope everyone is doing fantastic today. And of course, with me, I have a phenomenal special guest. My my sister in brain rot, Chestnut. Welcome. I'm so
I
glad you're
am
here.
so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here because Kev literally texted me this morning and was like, yo, and then sent me probably the greatest news of my life as I was at work.
Hmm.
And then I proceeded to freak out. And then I told all my coworkers, I need to go edit a video in my car. I'll be right back.
That's awesome.
I was literally like, I'm taking my lunch break right now. I wasn't
That's
even
a.
done with my
It
work. I'm like,
was
I'm
like,
taking lunch right now.
yeah, I remember you did send me that earlier. Like, I'm editing a video in my car, and I'm like, that is so real. That is so insanely real. I love that because the passion. It's all about the passion here, and there's a lot to talk about. So, I
So
hope
much.
everyone who's here. Shouts to everyone who's here. I have the chat on my phone at the moment. I have the chat on my phone at the moment. Shouts to, let's see who's all here. Shouts to Morrow. Shouts to Brandon King. Shouts to Straw Hat Lucas. Shouts to John Stroud on all socials. And that seems to be everyone chatting at the moment. But hey, we're going to be here for a while. So I cannot wait. We're going to strap in. We're about to lock in. Or about to clock in. Like you said, but the opposite because you clocked out to do your lunch break to lock in. But Chestnut, I guess we'll start with what I sent you first and foremost because that's the thing we both were like, no way, because it was a new reveal, not something that's like an update of something we already knew, which is of course the Lars of the Stars premiere reveal thing. So first off, like out of like a 10, where are you at on like the hype scale out of 10?
So I think so. It's pretty interesting because and I have like a whole backstory to this. So just give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna like just
It's
brain
all
run
good.
out right now.
It's all
So
good.
like I think like 2 weeks ago I made a video and people were like, "Oh, what would you like to see in a Steven Universe spinoff?" And obviously, I think like the main thing everybody wants to see is like lore drops. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't really want to see anything with Steven. I was like, Lars of the Stars would be really cool, like to see like Lars going off and like maybe we'll get to see other stuff like like alien planets and stuff, but I didn't think it would be like anything too deep into the lore of Steven Universe. And I was like, the first thing I want to see is lore. I want to see, backstory stuff. And then kind of come up to like now, you send me this post and I was like, oh my gosh, Steven Universe is back, right? And I look and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Lars of the Stars, like I figured this would probably be the easiest way to make like a spin-off show. Like all of these characters are pretty interesting. Lars is a pretty interesting character. He can carry a show by himself. And then they released the synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be peak. So like, just like when you sent me it, I was like 8 out of 10, hell yeah. When I read the synopsis on what the show was gonna focus on, 10 out of 10. I think this is probably like best case scenario for a Steven Universe revival or spin-off, we should say.
Yeah, I 100% agree because first and foremost, the synopsis itself talks about like space adventures and like that's fun and all. That's fun and all. But then at the very end, it says the secrets of like the fallen gem empire, and I'm like, we're gonna see some crazy stuff. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, all I'm saying is people I saw on Twitter and like social media and all that were saying this could be the Fiona and Cake of Steven Universe. This could be the more mature kind of like, oh, we're going there kind of level series. And I definitely think when you say something like Fallen Gem Empire, to me, all I'm thinking of is, man, they did a lot of messed up stuff in the original show. What's going to happen now? What are they going to reveal to us? Especially because these characters that we're following, the off colors, were revealed in an incredibly insane, dark moment in the series already. So having it be like, oh, we're already here. We're already at like the quote unquote like undesirables of their society. Like, what are they going to find out that's possibly even more undesirable in their point of view that had to be hidden? Just like they had to be hidden. I don't know. I think there's a lot of crazy potential. Do you have any like, theories, speculation? Like, what's the vision?
Oh, do I have theories, Kev?
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
feel like Entrapta. Like, you guys want to hear about my theories?
Mm-hmm.
Bruh.
Your shots to Entrapta, the goat.
Shout out to Entrapta the goat.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the entire synopsis almost doesn't make sense when you think about it in the context of Steven Universe Future. So we know this takes place sometime after Steven Universe Future because they say Fallen Gem Empire, right? Or the Diamond Empire, which means that this takes place after Steven Universe went to the diamonds, they all fell down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that there's technically peace across the universe. If there is true peace, like because the diamonds stopped everything, why are they smuggling contraband? Why are they running from authorities? Like why what are they actually doing in space that requires them to kind of have like these crazy adventures? Like what planet are they going on? Like, who are they actually running from? Is it going to be diamonds? Is it going to be other societies that they go to? Because honestly, we don't really know how far the Gem Empire expanded, right? And I think that that's going to be a really big theme of the series, especially given the fact that it's like, if we're post the Diamond Power, post Diamond Empire, right? We're going to see planets that were maybe getting invaded by the gems, right? Like, not really coming to terms with that, being very aggressive still. We're going to see like maybe fallen civilizations, like kind of like Indiana Jones, Star Wars, where people are like, we used to live on this planet, but we couldn't anymore, and we had to flee. I think that there's also a chance, I should say, that certain gems, and we kind of saw this with like Eyeball and who the one blue gem, Aquamarine, that's her name. They don't like Steven.
Yes.
They really don't. But they had at least respect for the diamonds, but they don't like Steven. There have to be some gems that don't like Steven, don't like what the diamonds are doing, and are like, you know what, I respected the diamonds, but now they've fallen. And something else needs to rise up. Like, something else needs to come up. And I have a feeling that Lars of the Stars is going to be about Lars basically fighting, like, the new empire. Like, the new order. Like, basically Star Wars. I think this is going to have very big Star Wars themes. I think we are going to see Lars go up against some unknown enemy. I think we're going to see them do these temple dives and just find out, like, yo, the diamonds were really messed up. And I also think we're going to see Diamond Origin. I think we're going to see a lot of that stuff in the new series.
I definitely agree with you there, because we don't really know how the gems were made, where the start of all this was. I feel like that's going to be, like, not necessarily the end game, but that's such an end game seeming thing that we never even learned about, because there's always that lingering mystery of what the world building could be. I definitely agree with you on the idea of people either being really disappointed in the diamonds, or like being kind of like Jasper in a way, still very loyal to the extent that they might see like, oh, why is a human, because Lars is a human still technically, with like these gems, like what's happening to our kind of crazy stuff like that. They can delve into a lot of insane concepts if it is truly going the Fiona and Cake route, being a bit more mature, being a bit more risky with the stuff it's able to do. And especially since this show is revolving around characters, like I said, who are seen as like, the dregs of gem society, I'm certain that we're going to see like some really crazy stuff. Like, I would not be shocked in the slightest if we've seen like other planets that were used for like a cluster-esque experiment, or they go to like destroyed planets. Like, that to me is like, because that was, obviously there was a lot of like horror elements in the earlier seasons, but to me, like, the most distinct early horror visual I remember is like the force fusion kind of stuff. To me, that's stood out so much because it was like this is crazy. This is actually like horrific, and I feel like they could really, really dial in with these kind of concepts of the forced fusions, especially since, we have characters that are fusions of like 7 people who are in the main cast of this new show, as well as like, like Rhodonite as well, who is a fusion as well. There's so much potential here with these kind of concepts, and they could easily lead to these like nice character stories, and also like, damn, that's kind of crazy. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
agree.
yeah.
And I had to write down that like like the Steven Universe revival could be like the Fiona and Cake, where it's like Fiona and Cake, and we'll talk about that a little later.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like obviously kind of pushed Adventure Time not only back into like the common like talking place, like people were talking about it again, but also it was like this story could be so much more if it was just given like less constraints. Like and I think we kind of see that with Fiona and Cake, where it's like if Adventure Time was truly able to kind of pass some of the limits that Cartoon Network put on it, because it was technically made for like, the 12-year-old audience, right? Like if it was able to kind of go past that, like look how deep it can become. Look how much we can actually go more into it. And it's like you don't need to be like swearing left and right? But like some of the themes and the concepts, like you just can't do that in a show that's made for kids. Where it's like, especially since this is going to be on Prime Video, and like Prime has been cooking with Has Been Hotel, and now it has a bunch of the Glitch production stuff, like the Amazing Digital Circus, and Murder Drones is going to be on there. Like clearly they're open to just having, if you want animation on here, go ahead. Like we're not going to stop you. We're not going to be putting these things on, because obviously adults pay for animation. And I think that's the big thing. Like I'm going to pay for a plushie that's $50. A parent isn't going to buy their kid a $50 plushie. So I think it's like now it's like animation is like for a different audience. And I would love if the show that I grew up with grew up a little bit with me. Like I love that. I had to write that down so I didn't forget it, because we'll probably talk about it more later. But
yeah,
crazy concept.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. The show evolving kind of as, I mean, the original show did that obviously with Steven like aging, slowly as the show progressed, and then with Future as well. But yeah, I definitely agree. If the show continued to mature with the audience, it would show a great level of, not just like, what's the word? Oh no, I can't think of it. But yeah, it's just like faithfulness to like the source material. I just can't think of the word at the moment. Like a lore keeper, that kind of position for a series. I just can't think of the word off the top of my head. I don't know why.
It'll come to you. Like
yeah,
later.
it'll
Like,
show up.
But even like how you're saying with like the Force Fusion, like that was such a dark storyline that they never really went too much into. And it's like that was one of the big things, like one of the big issues I had with Steven Universe. It's like with Steven Universe Future, obviously we go into all the psychological stuff with Steven, but there's so much that's left open. Like these gems, like the cluster is just left there. Like they don't even try to like separate these people.
I even had the thought, we don't know how the cluster was made. We know it was made, but imagine we see it. How horrible that must have been. Like, the bit of like it's in Adventure Time with PB and like the rattle balls thing, and everyone's like, oh, this is horrific, this is brutal. I could easily imagine that being the same situation for the cluster. Like easily, it's just like, oh yeah, round them all up, get rid of them, we can do this because we can. Something just purely like disgusting. I think that'd be a really great way to show like this is how bad they were, because a lot of people had that kind of gripe with the diamonds being so easily redeemed, especially White Diamond, obviously, because White Diamond was like the bad guy of the entire series at the end of the day. But now with this new kind of angle, with Lars, who's not connected to the diamonds whatsoever. Whoa, that was loud. Sorry, my ears just got blasted right now. Shoutouts to Double O Flevins, Big Flevins, with the 5 gifted donos. You're gonna keep hearing the sonic noise. I got to figure out how to lower like the individual audio levels, because I only have one consistent output what's it called, for audio. So now they're just getting blasted by the Sonic victory jingle.
I just like unmuted the stream because
Yeah,
I'm
just
watching it on my end, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. That's
yeah.
awesome.
I gotta figure it out. We'll find a way eventually. But shout outs to Power Fist 80, Zoltan, Killian, Cam K, and Firedog for being luckily gifted members of the channel. And of course, shouts to Flevins for gifted members to the channel. And now we're done. And now we're actually back to audio. So, yeah, what I was kind of saying is the elements that were in the beginning, because they were connected to Steven, regardless of if it's him not knowing something intentionally or him knowing something but having a different point of view because he's connected in some way, is completely out the window, because Lars is going to know nothing just because he knows nothing. It's not going to be like we're holding back anything. He's just going to find out. And because he doesn't have that kind of wall in front of him, I think that's going to allow him to see things from a very objective point of view. Like, this is objectively bad. This is objectively horrible. But Steven, obviously, he's a very kind-hearted individual. And, you know, having this different point of view, I think, is going to be really cool through a protagonist.
I really like that because, like, you're right. Like when they find out about a lot of this stuff, and especially the off colors, like, yeah, Steven was like, "Oh, everything's good now, right? Like everything is fine, and I made peace because I forgave them all, and they all apologized, right?" But like Lars isn't going to see it, like, because he's not family, he's not Pink Diamond, right? So he's not gonna have that connection. So it's like when he sees like them shattering gems and forcing them together, it's like, how are the fusions on the team gonna react? Like how are all of these things gonna kind of go? And it's like, will Lars at some point kind of turn against like Steven in a way where it's like, yo, White Diamond needs to go. Like you're just letting this girl like walk around where it's like she did all of this terrible stuff. Like the diamonds are terrible, and it's like we're just supposed to forgive them just because everything's good now. Like, what about everybody who suffered? What about everybody who's gone? I mean, I guess like technically Shattered Gems can come back, and they like have been trying to put them back together, but still, like you're never gonna find all the parts for some of them. Like they took gem lives. They destroyed planets. They destroyed life on multiple planets, and you're just gonna kind of let her go.
Yeah, and
I think it'd be interesting.
What makes that so interesting is the way you kind of phrase that with the you can never find all the pieces. That's so like, that seems like something the show would say. Like, do you remember in Future where they showed his like skeleton and had all the cracks in it? And it's like, yeah, you're healing, but you're never healing. You know, like think about how long the diamonds have been around. Probably like thousands and thousands of years, like some unimaginable amount of time, right? Lars to them is like a second, if even that. I don't know how long they've been alive, but probably, like I said, ridiculous amount of time. Having someone with such an objective point of view versus these people who don't even view them as like equals whatsoever. I mean, they had a whole zoo full of humans. I think would be a really interesting perspective, especially with, you know, his more blunt kind of way of thinking in general, because obviously Lars starts out the series and he's kind of a jerk, you know. I think we all know this, kind of unlikable, the Squidward to Steven's SpongeBob.
Squidward.
Yeah, it's like we're not supposed to like this guy, but maybe from his point of view we'll be able to see the truth more than like any of our quote unquote main likable characters, and I think that adds a really cool perspective.
I really like that, Kev. That was just a great point to bring up. Like, especially because they're diving into all of this lore. Like, I think the big lore that everybody wants to see, it's like obviously diamonds, right? I think that it's not like what made the diamonds, it's who made the diamonds. And I think that may be like the big villain. Like the person who made the diamonds had a very specific purpose in mind for making them. Every gem has a purpose, right? So it's like now they're all kind of purposeless. They can find their own way. But does the person who made the diamonds really want that? I think that's going to be a big thing. Like, if we find out who actually made the diamonds, like, perhaps now that they're not, you know, doing what they're supposed to do, they end up coming back and Lars has to fight them. I think a lot of the atrocities that the diamonds did. Also think just finding different forms of life. Like the only life we have in Steven Universe are the gems and humans, right? There really isn't anyone else. So it's like, is there life still? I would assume so, but it's like, is there really?
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be interesting, and then kind of just the politics of everything kind of coming together because not every gem can live on Earth, right? Like we see like oh they have the little kindergarten that can teach everybody, but it's like not every gem can live on Earth, and not every gem wants to live on Earth. So what do you do when Steven can't tell you how to be different? What do you do when everything that you've been taught and you've been doing for thousands of years is totally wrong? Like, do you just revert back to your own way? Like, it's kind of the gems that are on Earth kind of just, oh, well, Steven says everything's good, so it's good. And then Lars goes out into space and it's like, oh my gosh, they're just as bad as they were before. But it's like now the diamonds aren't controlling them, so they have nobody controlling them.
Mm.
I think that'll also be really interesting, kind of the politics of everything.
It'll be like the cycle continues regardless if there's a leader or not, because that's what was ingrained into their culture ever since they were created. They don't really technically like grow up or whatever. They kind of just exist and then they're there. Like the first thing I thought of when you said, "Oh, not everyone's going to live on Earth because they just aren't going to be able to like, mesh with it." Do you remember it was in like the Diamond Temple itself. There were people like gems that were made to be the walls of the building. Like these aren't like humanoid by any means. They're literally wall people. Like they're not fitting in anywhere. Like it's not even
Yeah.
close because they were made to be the thing that holds up their society in the most like big brain like oh this is so deep kind of stuff. But like no, that's literally what they were made to do. Which is a great imagery for that. But having these humanoid gems who are more similar to humans be seen as oh they're able to fit in perfectly versus the ones that are definitely not be able to, I think would be really cool. And I thought of another thing while you said the gem creator, and I thought this was really interesting because the gem creator didn't necessarily give them all a purpose. They gave some a purpose and they kind of forced them to be these very specific roles. Like, did I ever think in my life there would be like a lawyer gem going into the series? No, but they exist. There's lawyer gems, I guess. And I had the thought, what if this actually might sound somewhat heady. If the creator is meant to be like the guy, what if Steven recreating Lars and not giving him a purpose is meant to be like a parallel to the gem creator all that time ago? And that's why Lars is the main character of this series and why he'll be the one to meet this creator guy. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I like it. It's like
because it,
whoever created the gems like wanted to give people purpose, and now like Lars kind of is in that same opportunity. They could do some like crazy stuff with it, where it's like Lars is given the opportunity to basically be like the new head, like literally Anakin turning into Darth Vader.
oh my God. Oh my God. That'd be crazy. Because, like, can can he die? I don't even think he can, right? Isn't he like immortal? I'm fairly
Yeah,
certain.
it's like it's so weird because he technically did die before, so he's like a
Yeah.
zombie. But it's
Yeah.
like he doesn't have any powers that we know, right?
For
Because like
now. Something
like
like that.
Lion has like the power to like scream and like break a bunch of stuff. Like he has like supersonic speech. So I don't know. There may be a thing where Lars may be pretty powerful, especially because he's kind of got that diamond-esque power
Hmm.
where it's like the diamonds have failed, Steven has failed. Maybe this like half human, half gem thing, because like he's not technically a gem and he's not really human anymore. He's kind of nothingness. Like perhaps he can be like the purpose. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be
Oh,
really cool.
he's got that like anime like oh I'm a human and I'm a gem, but I'm also not a gem because I'm a zombie, something
Yeah, and
crazy
I'm
like
not I'm
that.
not human. Like I'm nothing, and it's like
Oh, I'm not. I'm space. Space is nothing. Like some heady, some
they're gonna
heady
do
stuff
something
like that.
they're gonna do something crazy with that. They're gonna do
Yeah,
something crazy with Lars.
yeah. I feel like, I don't want to say it. I really don't want to say it, but we're definitely gonna do a baggage thinking back about Earth episode. Like, there's no question. There's no
With
question.
Sadie.
Yes. Yeah.
I think there's
Like,
gonna
there's
be a
gotta
huge
be.
Sadie episode. I need to get your opinion on this because
Okay.
I always thought that the ending to Sadie and Lars was super just hollow. Like
Mm.
it just was like they never showed them trying to get together. Like they had at the end of the series, like, oh, it might happen, and then it was like Sadie has moved on with Shep,
Sadie got
and
the partner. Yeah.
yeah, like Sadie like loves their partner, like everything is great with them. But it's like Lars kind of just was like, "Oh, I'm good. Everything's good." Right?
Mhm.
Where it's like we never really saw kind of what happened with that. I'd love to see a little bit more of like just a relationship not working out. Like a relationship like if I see two people get into it and they don't work out, I want to see that.
The
I
development.
don't know, what do you think? Yeah.
I kind of feel you because, like, all right, the ship was kind of fire. Like, it was cooking. The island episode was crazy.
Mhm.
Like, the vision was there. And I was, it was weird because I thought it was a bit refreshing that they didn't get together, even though, I would have liked it. I was like, this seems more realistic in a way because, I don't know. I did like them as a couple. They had a very fun dynamic, and it was like the boy and girl next door vibes, that kind of innocent vibe. And seeing how crazy it kind of went, especially obviously with Lars, it makes sense that Sadie, just did her own thing, especially with like her kind of learning more about who she is in general, not like associated with him. I thought that was pretty cool. And they both turned out really cool, to be like rock star and like
Mhm.
space pirate. I'm like, this is awesome. Uh, but I don't know. I I do agree. I really wish we got more of them because they were
Or at
sweet.
least like seeing like hey like maybe they're gonna get together but then we see like they have all these differences and then they just decide like not to like we just my issue is that we just never saw it like
Mm.
let's say they don't ever get together right and they just are like this isn't gonna work out. I'd like to see the thought process behind it and have and see them have that conversation rather than just
It just doesn't happen.
not. Yeah, so it's like that's my main thing where it's like I would love to see like Lars find somebody in his new series and then kind of have those flashbacks that's like this didn't work out with Sadie. I really like Sadie and then maybe we even get to see like the conversation. It's like Lars asks Sadie out and it's like
Oh.
I shit like he gets rejected and Sadie's like, I really liked you, but this isn't gonna work out and I think we should just be friends. And it's like I'd love to see Lars kind of process that because we never really saw him process it. It was like he was over it, Sadie was over it. The only person who wasn't over it was Steven, where it's like, would Lars really be over it that fast? Like we
Mm.
don't even get to see him and Steven talk it out. I don't know.
No, I get it because it's like, Steven's a very innocent character. He's like, oh, what? How could that not happen? But like, that's life, at the end of the day sometimes. And I feel as though having, like, I do love what you just said though about like Lars like gets a weird relationship thing. Like maybe it's with like an alien or something crazy. Like, you know what I mean? And then he thinks out Sadie like out of nowhere, or
Oh.
right? Do you remember Jungle Moon, the weird dream episode? We get a Sadie dream, like something cooked, something just
Oh,
crazy. Because remember, they were on that jungle island. Oh, nah,
I
that's the
love
one.
it.
That's the one.
I
That's the
love
one.
it.
Yeah, that's the one. The jungle
I hope you.
island.
I hope you realize all of these are becoming shorts. I'm gonna be like,
Hey,
I was talking to my friend Kev,
that's
and
that's the
Kev was
ultimate alley
cooking.
oop. It's like
And Kev was cooking, bro.
talking to Kev. Ready? Talking to Kev. It was
Just
cooking.
oh my gosh.
Oh
Nah,
my
that's
god.
crazy. Like a Sadie flashback, bruh. Where he's just like he's like having this dream and it's like let's say he'd like somebody like Johnny Storm style, like
Mm.
alien centipede, like something crazy. And it's like he's
Oh yeah.
really yeah, have you ever seen that? I'll have to
No.
send you the comic panel of it. Oh my gosh. Like he like starts he gets into a relationship with like this crazy like centipede. But anyways, like just imagine like like Lars is like super into this person, right? And it's like he's about to move on, and then we see this dream, and it's like we see basically like this dream flashback of him and Sadie rejecting him where he still has feelings, and it's like, yeah, it looks like he was fine throughout that episode.
But
Like
was he
there were
fine?
little hints, yeah, like there were little hints here and there that like he really wasn't fine and he still had feelings, and it's like he thought he moved past them, and then he never moves past them. Like Lars never moved past his love for Sadie, and it's stopping him from having a future relationship. Oh, that'd be so
That would
good.
be peak. That would be peak. And I mean, I feel like, especially with people maturing and having, like, that could be something a lot of people who've watched it when they were kids, like, might be going through as, like, young adults. You know, that feeling of, like, nostalgia in a weird way, which is kind of meta in this case because people are watching the show who probably are watching it purely because of nostalgia. Like,
Hmm.
oh, remember how good it was back then? Lars would be thinking the same exact way. Instead of thinking in the future and this literally endless potential before him, he's fixated on the past, which is actually kind of crazy because the whole thing they're doing in the series is exploring the Gem Empire pat. Nah, nah.
And oh my gosh, as they're exploring like all of the gem history and all the mistakes that they made, he's relating them to his own
To
life.
his own mistake. To his
And
own mistakes.
like and as the series goes on, we see like he's feeling more and more isolated because none of the
Mm.
other off colors, like they're all off colors, but Lars is different, right? And it's like they can kind of all find solace in the fact that they're all gems, but
But he's
Lars
a
isn't a
human.
gem. Yeah, like
Yes.
he's human, but he's actually not a human. But he's kind of a gem, but he's not actually a gem. Or it's like he's in this weird middle, like gray area, and he's like trying to go through and figure out like the diamonds did all this messed up stuff. But that reminds me when I did this. Like the only thing, keep Ronaldo out of the series, bro. But his past friendship with Ronaldo and like what he did to Ronaldo, and like abandoning people and using people and you know kind of stringing along Sadie in a way until he developed feelings, and it's like oh, there's so much that they can do
Mm-hmm.
with like these parallels, and then like
We're cooking.
just
We're
just
cooking.
to see just like he finally tries to find love and can't get past Sadie would be insane,
But
would be
maybe,
crazy.
but the thing is, right? It's not Sadie. It's himself. It's all internal. Cause
Yeah,
Sadie likes him and they're friends
it's
and
the
like that's awesome, you know. But he can't get over that like mental hurdle of like,
it's the
oh,
idea of
am I gonna
Sadie.
mess this up again? Am I gonna like? He doesn't want to be hurt again, which is crazy because he's literally dead and can't get hurt again. So he can't get hurt like mentally again. You know what I mean? Like, nah, nah.
Crazy.
Yeah, this show could cook. The show could cook. You know what? It's not a could. It's a will. It will cook.
It's gonna cook.
Yeah. I feel like, oh, I see Rocknaldo confirmed. Now that would be, oh, Bloodstone actually does something
Oh my
insane.
god.
Oh my god, I remember those theories were they were hot at the time. Bloodstone, new gem, what's going on? Because it was after Bismuth, and I think I told you about my Bismuth journey. Did I tell you about my Bismuth journey? I think I did.
I don't. You may have. I don't remember it right now, but if you talk about it, it'll probably jog my memory.
It was like so when I was a kid, I was so hyped for Bismuth, right? I was so hyped. The episode was peak. Like the Bismuth episode, I was like, I love this. But then Bismuth came back and I was like, this does not hit at all. Like this does not hit. I was so ready for like a villain kind of thing, but then they just didn't go for it. You know what I mean? And it really disconnected me from the character because I was so into like this not even a villain idea, but like she was betrayed. And I'm like, I love this. But then it kind of got like immediately like, oh, we're done with that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. In retrospect, I kind of like it though, because Future did a lot to make her very endearing, you know, very real, especially in the movie as well. She was just
Yeah,
nice,
it
but
was
I
great.
just wish there was more, you know?
That's the exact same way that I feel about Sadie and Lars. That is the exact same way where it's like it got resolved too quickly, where we didn't get to see like I want to see Bismuth and her emotions. I want to feel her. It's like she was betrayed, and we got maybe 2 minutes of it. Give me a full episode of Bismuth like finding like a rose quartz portrait, especially with like the sketches we got from Rebecca Sugar, where it's like Rose and Bismuth, they weren't just friends, right?
I
Like,
saw that.
they had an intimate relationship, and it's like be betrayed by somebody that you were so close to, and yet you just kind of it's gone. Steven is feeling more, so it's like we should just it's Steven's mom. He says it's okay. It's like even if she was like, Steven, you're a different person. You've done nothing to me. Like, I'm sorry. Why didn't we get an episode where Bismuth is like, I just can't, like, she's just a fucking bitch, you know?
We just need to get that, like, get it off your chest. Get it off your hole in your chest, and then just let it out, you know? Exactly. All the emotions, all the personality, you know? Like, that's what we need. And I feel like, I don't know, Bismuth could have easily been someone to the level of, I won't say a Lapis or a Peridot, but definitely like a Jasper, you know, like an antagonist who gets kind of like redeemed in a way from like a different point of view. And they both had that obsession with Pink Diamond, you know what I'm saying? Like that would have been really cool. Like kind of like this person was obsessed with Rose and this person was obsessed with Pink Diamond, but they both eventually got betrayed by their loyalty, you know, like something like that would have been a really cool parallel, but it didn't really happen. Like, and I love Jasper. I'm not saying Jasper is like worse than Peridot or Lapis, you know, but I'm saying their roles could have been like a cool inversion of each other in a way.
I understand what you're putting down. I think it would have been even more interesting because like the way that Jasper like technically ended was like tragic, right? Like Jasper couldn't accept new people into her life. She couldn't accept things have changed, and because she like held on to that strength, it eventually consumed her. Where it's like with Bismuth, it would have been interesting where it's like instead of holding on like Jasper, she lets everything go, and then eventually like you can have like the Bismuth that we see in the movies, but at this time she's built up to that point where it's like we saw that she was holding the same animosity but chose to go a different route, where it's like they're kind of the same but they end differently because one was able to accept change and the other one wasn't, where it's like I think it would have still fit within the themes of Steven Universe too, where it's like if you're able to change, you can become this better person and you can live the life that you want, where it's like if you can't, then you're just going to be stuck forever.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of phrasing it. I feel as though like characters like Peridot and Lapis obviously did that so well. They did that so well. They completely changed from the beginning. And then you do have characters who are more hard, you know, like a hard nut to crack. Like you're not going to make it nearly as easy. And having stuff like that, it makes the world feel more realistic. And obviously, ultimate segue, Lars is a great example of this kind of character. It's like this dude
cooking
this dude sucked like forever, and then he was great, and it's because of that slow burn. It made us feel more endeared to him, especially in these like dire situations. It's like this is a guy, this is just a guy, this isn't like someone with powers. This is a normal teenage boy who's edgy and angsty, you know? And he's way in over his head. And now we were like, oh no. Like this is messed up. This is pretty insane. You know? He's literally like, imagine if Ronaldo was in that situation, but Ronaldo wasn't geeking out at every single like second he's in this location. It's just like, what's going on? You know? Something more realistic and grounded.
Character. Yeah, like Lars is a really cool character, so it's not going to be like, oh my god, there's this, oh my god, there's that. He's going to go in and he's going to be like cool and level-headed. Like I think he'll be a great main character. But I do agree with like his change, because like if you remember like the first episode of the series, all he wanted to do was fit in. And it's like he never really got over that. He definitely improved, but he never really got over wanting to fit in. He kind of just changed where it's like, I'll fit in somewhere where people are more like me, which is why he fits in so well with the off colors. It's like they're more like me, so I'll do this group where it's like you don't have to necessarily fit in to be liked and hang out with people. Where
Mm.
it's like I think self identity is still a massive issue for Lars that he's gonna have to go over. But even still, like the first episode, he's like insulting Steven's like dead mother, and it's like Steven's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then
Yeah.
like we cut to it, and like Steven and Lars are best friends. So the change he went through was just so massive, and yet there's still so much more for him to grow. And I think I'm actually like as we talk about this, I'm just getting more and more hyped
Mm.
for Lars to be the main character of a series.
It's interesting because he was like kind of what you said. He was the ultimate follower to like Buck and like Sour Cream and all them, like the cool kids. You know what I mean? He was the ultimate follower character. He always wanted to be on their side. It didn't matter if he actually had the same belief. Like I recently, my friend, he's watching Steven Universe for the first time, and we
Oh,
watched this
doesn't.
episode, and it was the T-shirt episode with the guitar dad, and Buck finds a drawing that he drew when he was a kid for his dad to be the mayor, and eventually Steven puts that shirt on a shirt for him for revenge or whatever, because the town's kind of messing with Greg, you know, and that's not cool. But Lars gets one of the t-shirts and he sees like, oh, it's Greg, like why is what is this? But then he sees that Buck was the one that like threw the shirt to him, and immediately he switches. He's like, oh, whoa, this is awesome, I love this shirt, you know. And having him be now like, instead of being a follower, he's the leader, he's the guy. It's an entirely different dynamic, especially like if you're in a friend group and you're on the outs and then out of nowhere you're the leader of a friend group. That's an insane, not like a burden or whatever, but it's like it's a different perspective, and it's going to have
Mm-hmm.
him act insanely differently and probably
I
put up walls just the same as he did as a follower, but like kind of differently, you know.
I think we're gonna see like just these huge switches of personality with like Lars to be that leader. He's going to, I think, hold back a lot of himself. Where it's like the reason they wanted him to lead was because of the person Lars had become, right? Like he's just a good guy now. Where
Mm.
it's like I think Lars is gonna try to be more stoic, more flashy, and we kind of got a little bit of that in Steven Universe, where it's like he was talking to, I think it was Emerald, right?
Yeah.
And it's like he was like, "Oh, I'm just this crazy cool leader. Like, I'm this and that." And it's like he's almost trying to emulate like Bucky still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
trying to still emulate, even though he fits in, and it's like they would love him regardless. Like he's still trying to grasp onto that, and it's just there's a lot for Lars to learn.
Yeah, I
And
think
I'm just so excited.
it'll be so interesting because I feel as though just the potential of not just him, but seeing like possibly other scenes from the show from his point of view. Like he worked at that crappy donut shop every day for years, right? Imagine how many times he stumbled across seeing them fight a monster. And he's just like, what in the world is going on over there? You know, having these kind of moments that are so casual and normal to us from his point of view, I think would be really cool. Um, cool way of reframing the story as well, you know, from a different point of view.
Now, do you think that this is going to be like 15-minute episodes, or you think we're going to get like 30-minute episodes?
Oh, see, I'll say it. If they do the Fiona and Cake route, which they should, and really flesh out the emotions of the characters, it should be 30-minute episodes. Well, like the 22
Mm-hmm.
average, episodes. Because this will, well, it is on streaming, so I assume they will air on television as well as streaming. So probably on like Adult Swim, because most cartoons are on Adult Swim now that are actually, Cartoon Network released. Normally stuff is just on Adult Swim now, so hey, maybe they'll do that. But yeah, I'm hoping for the 20-minute kind of average episodes because I feel like that would be more you'd get more invested in the
Yeah.
just the emotions of the characters, the action possibly. And if they do kind of harken back to that classic, Gundam space battle inspirations, they could easily do stuff like that. Do I think they will every episode? 100% no. They'll probably have an episode, which is like a kind of, you mentioned Star Wars earlier, before the stream started. No, you mentioned it earlier as well with Anakin and him being Anakin. They'll probably have like some kind of starship kind of fight thing, like they did in the episode with Emerald. That wouldn't surprise me at all. But multiple, I don't know. But it'll probably have like pretty intense action for when it's needed, but mostly the intense lore. Yeah, that's what we're fiending for, the lore. So
Honestly, though, you showed me the one time the what was it, the Spinel fight that was animated by that one animator, and it was like super fluid. I'd love if there was like some just crazy fight that Lars gets into, and it's like crazy Sakuga. Like, yes, give it to me, give it to me. I'd be so hyped.
Sakuga universe is insane. That's insane.
It'd be so hype.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think there's so much to this show that people just aren't even looking at right now. I think as like once we get a little bit more information, like a trailer, people are gonna be like, "Holy shit!" Like this is gonna be crazy. But
yeah, I feel like bring James Baxter back. Oh, he's definitely coming back. He never leaves. He never leaves. He's gonna be in everything because he's so dedicated to these universes. And speaking of James Baxter, masterful segue. Adventure Time, which has a character named James Baxter. So
Baxter,
we got Baxter. I'm happy you did it because I can't do that voice at all.
The horse voice.
Yeah, I can't do the I can't do the kind of, yeah, I can't do that. But so we didn't get any, at least as far as I know. It could have been released in the time we're streaming this right now. I'm not on Twitter right now, but in France, it's like 3 in the morning. I highly doubt anything's going to be revealed right now in France, which is where all this information is coming from for the people who are curious. And that's what the festival thing on the thumbnail is. It's a French animation festival that's happening this week, and it's been happening for a few days at this point. And tomorrow is going to be showcasing a lot of Adult Swim stuff, which, as I said, could easily be a lot of these were supposed to be on Cartoon Network. Now it's on Adult Swim programming. So it could be revealed tomorrow. So I'm, fingers crossed for that. But
yeah, nothing yet. I just checked Twitter, so no trailer release.
I don't have to fiend for the trailer just immediately. I'm just like, I need it. But apparently, for not Adventure Time. Oh my God, Fiona and Cake season 2. We got a trailer shown as well as a new intro, which is just not publicly released as of yet, but we did get a lot of really cool information from some people who were there, talking about it on Twitter and stuff. And I wanted to give a little rundown of some of the stuff, and we could like give our thoughts as we run through it. But I'll start with the first one. So, Chestnut, you watched Fiona and Cake as well as I, and I can only imagine you got invested in the Simon plot because Simon is the GOAT.
He's the best character.
He's the best character. Now, something that does worry me a little bit is that it seems like Simon is taking a back seat and not really going to be a part of the season, which is worrisome because I love that Petrikov baggage. I was fiending. I was fiending for the ship. But it seems as though a character that a lot of people are a big fan of, but not nearly as main as Simon, a Huntress Wizard, is seemingly taking his spotlight. Maybe not taking his spotlight. That sounds a bit dismissive. But, becoming that major character who we already are familiar with in this season. Do you have any immediate thoughts on this? Like, are you excited? Are you intrigued? What are you thinking?
So I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little hesitant because it's
Okay.
like I think So Simon is such a big character in Adventure Time, and it's
Yeah.
like honestly, we've gotten a lot of Simon. So I understand moving on and giving like a couple other characters.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think I mean Huntress Wizard is like an intriguing character, don't get me wrong. Like I think that
Hmm.
there's a lot to it, but like I mean we have like the gender bent version in Fiona and Cake. Um
Yes.
so it's like could be a little bit of that. I don't know. They would really have to, I think, spin it, and I have full confidence that they can, but I feel like they really have to spin it where it's like, why should I really care about this character other than like a one-off episode? You know what I mean? Where it's
I
like
feel that.
there's a lot of other characters that it's like I would rather them just like mainly focus on like Fiona and like kind of really develop her rather than like saying like here's a character from Adventure Time that people really really liked, but it's like
Hmm.
can she carry a whole series? Like is she gonna be enough? I don't know. Like will they revert just back to Simon by the end because she can only carry a couple episodes? Like I don't know. It's very weird. I'm gonna have to see the trailer too because I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Yeah. I have some thoughts. So,
Okay.
some additional information is that we learned, well, not learned, it was revealed that apparently in season two, it's majorly going to take place in the Fiona universe. So, there's no multiverse kind of hopping from what we're aware of outside of seemingly Huntress Wizard coming to Fiona's world. Now, this has me thinking, what does Huntress Wizard do? Right? What's her thing? Uh, it's hunting. So something either must have came into Fiona's world from Ooh, or there's some like lingering thing in Fiona's world that needs to be taken care of. And you mentioned Fiona kind of being the spotlight character, and I kind of agree with you in this scenario because I'm going to be so for real. I did not really care about Fiona. Like the Family Guy meme, I did not care for Fiona Campbell. And then I did. And then I loved Fiona. Like, I actually really like her as a protagonist. I think she's very kind and cool and all this great stuff. Like, actually fleshed out and emotional and great. It's not just the gender bent Finn equivalent anymore. It's like an actual character that exists and went through stuff that I care about. And obviously having a good, not even good, a great character like Simon to build her up into this phenomenal character helped a lot. And maybe Fiona is going to be the one who uplifts Huntress Wizard to be this even greater character than she already was because she was such a
Okay.
dominant support character in the later seasons of the show. Maybe this will be something that kind of puts her over the edge. Like, there are some things that I was kind of thinking, like, okay, she's a wizard. Wizards are seemingly crazy and have like insane backstories. We know nothing about her backstory. What's her backstory?
Oh, I
Like,
see.
what's up with that? I don't know. Why is she a hunter wizard thing? Are we going to get some depressing backstory? I hope so. I love depressing wizard backstories. I don't know. But yeah, what do you kind of thinking about them since they are seemingly staying in Fiona's world? Are there any things you're looking forward to predominantly, like more characters you want to see or stuff like that?
I mean, honestly, the way that you put it, because I didn't think about it like that. Because I mean, when we're really looking at Fiona's world, it's boring, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
basically our own world, right? So it's like there's nothing too fantasy about it. The cool thing about like the first season of Fiona and Cake was like going through all of these different multiverses and really like seeing, oh, this would happen if this happened at Adventure Time, right? And it's like I think that's why a lot of people like love the first season. Um, but it would be interesting if like parts of like Ooh and everything else started seeping into her world and like kind of destroying it. Because I think
Ooh.
kind of by the end of season one, it's like my life, because like in the beginning, right, like Fiona's like my life kind of sucks,
Mm.
like my life isn't the best, and then by the end it's like my life isn't too bad, like I think I can live within. um I mean I'm very much just kind of watering down everything, but
Yeah.
it's like kind of like kind of like it was like okay, like I'm okay with this. Like I would love to see Fiona like trying to be like no, like this is my home. Like we need to make sure that things aren't getting in and destroying it because they basically almost destroyed her world to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she already had to fight it off once. It's like she's not gonna just stop. So I think especially seeing kind of her more so loving her life and getting more into that will be really interesting. I think the stuff you said about Huntress Wizard, it can be cool. I think we're gonna have to see like a trailer though, because it's like, is it just gonna be just Huntress Wizard like, oh, I'm here, and then it's like, fighting a little bit, going off, saying goodbye after like 5 episodes, or is she going to be like, you're right, kind of this, or is Fiona gonna be like the Simon to her character, where we're going to
Mm.
get this crazy lore, and then she leaves at the end, and it's like, it could be interesting. Like,
Yeah.
will their world eventually become magical? Because I mean, the Adventure Time world in general is post-apocalyptic, right? Like there's kind of like evidence that there's like been magic before, right? Like there has been magic in that world at some point, but like where was that introduced? Like is the same thing happening to Fiona's world where it's like, like cuz I mean after season 1 it's like what's really going to happen? Are they going to go all the way right back to like how it was before where it's just kind of like this AU, or is it going to be like this place is slowly turning into ooh? You know
Mm.
what I mean?
I would like that a lot. I think I have kind of two ideas that kind of come to me real quick. So obviously, Huntress Wizard was mentioned in the first season by Finn, and obviously people are fiending for the Finn Fiona meetup, which
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
happen. So that could easily be like something that happens around the finale ish section, but maybe Huntress Wizard, really is a support character, uh, because she would be like, "Oh, you're different from Finn. You're not
Mm.
Finn." Like that would be really interesting because obviously, it kind of goes to that meta sense of this is just gender bent Finn, but now it's no, it's Fiona now. Like this is a different thought process, different mentality. I feel like that could be really interesting because
I like that.
that kind of stuff is just like, oh, of course she would act like Finn, but what if she doesn't act like Finn because of like how her world is like kind of grown past being, just Finn's world again. That could be pretty cool. And maybe this is kind of heady. This is kind of heady, but I like it. I think that something coming and invading their world is really poetic in a way because when you think about what season 1 was all about at the end of the day, it was them invading other worlds. So having something
Oh.
invade their world would be really intriguing. It's like, oh, their world is substantial enough that there's now things invading their world. Like that could be neat. I don't know.
I like that. I really like the stuff where it's like maybe like season 2 is gonna be like Fiona is her own character. Like season 1 kind
Mm.
of told us like she is, but like what if it's like Huntress Wizard comes and is like, oh, like Fiona, you're Finn, right? So like you come with me, and she's like, no, I'm not, and it's like things that people would expect Finn to do, Fiona doesn't do. I like that. Would be very interesting.
Yeah, because Finn is a lot more obviously, um, throw it at the wall. I'm doing anything to get this done. And Fiona is, to be blunt, she kind of sucks for the most part. Like she's very scared and like afraid a lot of the time, like the opposite of Finn. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
her like adventure is probably like, oh no, I did this crazy thing. Now I'm now I'm going ice skating. Like something just like normal. Finn's like, oh yeah, I killed this dragon. It's like, hello, just the levels because of like how their worlds are created with Simon's idea of like an adventure being like we explore some ruins versus Finn's like insane idea of an adventure being like minotaurs and dragons and like all these things that are insanely fantasy kind of oriented. It's cool to see that kind of disparity in what they're able to manage, but I mean, Fiona dealt with vampires and candy zombie things and like a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So hey, it could probably change by the time, you know, Huntress Wizard is around. But and here's why I baited you real quick. This series is apparently only like a month after the last one. So is Fiona really going to go through that much of a change in a month? I highly doubt it. So Fiona's probably going to be overwhelmed like crazy, um,
I like
which is
it.
great. Which is great.
You know, like the Adventure Time episode where Finn is afraid of the ocean, and it's like the fear is
Yes.
like in his belly button, and it's like this black smoke, and like when you're watching it as a kid, you're like, what on earth is this episode? You're like,
Uh,
this is absolutely insane. Like, what is happening? I always liked that episode, like going back and watching it as an adult, because it's like the manifestation of fears can become physical, right? I'd love if they did something very similar in like Fiona and Cake, where it's
that would
like
be
the
really cool.
manifestation of fear of losing your home, of losing your life, of family, everything that you've built, like kind of comes to fruition. It would be very cool.
Yeah, and it's like some kind of mental block in her head. Like like a major thing at Adventure Time was like, oh, the vault or whatever, you know? What if she gets like a vault, something like insane? Like we don't know fully what happened to her, but I could imagine that she would not want to deal with some of the stuff she dealt with, like seeing Martin get the life sucked out of him by a vampire. Like that would
Mhm.
not be cool. I would not want that in my brain if I saw that in front of my eyes, personally.
I
Personally.
mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't. You know, it'd be really interesting too. You know, like the train episode with Adventure Time, where it's like the trauma that Finn kind of went through, like on that basically the Infinity Train.
Hmm.
Um, I'd love if they kind of did something like mentally similar with that, where it's like Fiona's kind of going through everything she's gone through in the past. Like, 'cause how long was the original series? It was only over like maybe a month at max, right? It wasn't like
I think it was, yeah, like because they did 2 episodes a week, and there were 10 episodes. From what I remember, I'm fairly certain it was like, oh, it's here. Oh, now you're addicted to this. Oh, now you can't stop thinking about it. It's over now. Like it was kind of like that. At least it felt like for me. So yeah, probably like a month-ish or like 5 weeks, a month. I feel like it was that. I think they're probably gonna extend it. I don't think they're gonna do 2 a week again. But if they did, man, I'm ready to lock in. I'm just like I'm seated.
I actually hate because they did that with Has Been as well, where they had like 2 episodes drop a week. Give me 1 episode a week, bro.
Let me fiend for this episode,
Let,
okay? Let me
I
just fiend.
I want to feel disgusting. Like with Apothecary Diaries, they release 1 episode a week, and every week after I finish an episode, I'm like, this is disgusting. I need the next episode right now. And
How
on
could they
Fridays,
how could they
my
leave it on that? You
yeah,
know?
my booty is seated in my chair. Like I love the suspense, but it's I mean, I would assume it'd probably have like a similar like episode amount as well, like which
Yeah.
kind of sucks because I would love to have more episodes, but maybe they're kind of hoping for more seasons and are kind of trying to keep the budget.
Mm.
But it'd
Well,
be cool to have like mental like Fiona's going through all of this trauma and like kind of just reliving it in like this cycle like loop over and over again, and it's like how do I break out of this, like kind of that manifestation of fear. And I think
yeah.
Adventure Time did that really well with Finn, where it's like Finn was brave. He didn't really think about a lot of things until it kind of he had to. Like he had to face so many of his fears and he had to go through so much, and it's like you don't really see it affect him like every episode, but slowly but surely it starts building up. And it's like you see just how powerless he really is. And I like that, and I think it'd be interesting if Fiona kind of had the opposite, where it's like, you've gone through a lot. You may not be this crazy hero, but you're strong.
Mm.
Like I'd love if it's kind of really showing the difference between Finn and Fiona.
You know, it's giving Usopp. Personally, it's giving
Oh,
Usopp,
get out of
and
here.
that sounds like a great thing to me. As one of
uh,
Usopp's biggest, strongest soldiers. I'm here for Fiona being Usopp. I'm so here for that.
oh my god.
I did have a kind of a thought. Obviously, you mentioned it being they might want more seasons. Well, we do know that they're also working on the Adventure Time movie, whatever that's gonna be. We still don't really know what that's gonna be, but
No
I'm
info.
no info. Well, we know it exists still, but we have not seen any publicly released info about it. And we know they're also working on that like spin-off show as
With
well.
BMO.
Yes, with BMO, but also another one. It was called like Side Quest. I think it was like Finn and Jake is like
Oh, okay.
younger. It was like a prequel kind of thing. I have no idea what it's going to be about, but I assume it's
Yeah,
going to
there's
be
like
like,
no info on anything.
yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems like they're really trying to be like, this could be something that lasts like for a long time. And it already has been. I mean, we're talking about it in 2025. Like, this show has lasted like at least two generations at this point. So they're trying to keep it around. I don't want to say make it like a SpongeBob. I don't want to say that. But,
Oh God,
make it
you wouldn't
like,
wish that upon your worst.
yeah. But, make it feel more, give it more depth, you know? So, I don't know. I'm very excited for what's to come in season two. Obviously, I released a short today, and I plan to release more, kind of, as it, uh, rots my brain. Some more ideas. Like I really like that idea I mentioned earlier about Fiona being like the different from Finn kind of thing. I
I
really
really like
like
that
that.
idea. Make
Yeah,
a short about it, bro.
I probably will. I mean, I'm probably gonna be like, if any Chad in the comments and or chat wants to be like, ooh, that was a good one. Like, just do
I
that.
like
That'd be
I like
crazy.
the Huntress Wizard stuff you were saying. You gotta make a short about.
Hmm.
You gotta say like Huntress is gonna be the next Simon. Just start off the short with that. That's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I
I think you're cooking, bro.
that was kind of what I was talking about in the one I released today. It was like, it was kind of just like a, hey, this just happened, but I could definitely like develop it more, and especially with the wizard thing. It's
I like.
it is weird that she's like not insane. That's so weird. Like, she's so
Yeah,
normal.
most wizards are crazy. Like
Yeah,
especially in Adventure Time.
yeah, because like you think about like Magic Man, like that dude wasn't. He was nuts. He was crazy, and obviously Ice King, and like I don't know. But then you see like that one guy, like the life giving mage guy. Like, he was pretty chill, after a while. But he's like,
I mean, remember the frogs, the frog wizards with the tadpole?
yeah,
He was
like they
like just
were.
he was just a jerk.
Yeah, it's like a weird spectrum of like, maybe she has depression because it's not just madness, it's also sadness. Maybe she's depressed, and you know what? That could maybe be part of her like detachment from society. That's heady. That's pretty
I
heady.
smell
But
I smell a theory video on Huntress Wizard
Huntress
coming.
Wizard is depressed. Oh no.
I smell a theory. I smell a 30-minute analysis
I
on
mean,
Huntress
hey,
Wizard.
it could bang. It could bang. And
It will bang.
all I got to do, put it out right before the series starts, and
Oh
right at the
yeah.
end I'll be like, and if anything changes, we'll do an update video. Boom. What's gonna
Go to
happen?
mic drop.
Yeah. But yeah, those are, at least for now, my kind of expectations. I do hope more characters show up outside of just Huntress Wizard, obviously. Like, when are Marceline and Simon gonna talk? Like, this is what I'm
Uh,
just waiting for this, and I need it so bad. Like, when's it gonna happen? Do you know? I hope someone
I
knows, because it'll exist.
I we just
Then, like,
we really haven't gotten much information on these. I feel like we should do like an update stream when we get more information, like when the trailer drops, which
oh
hopefully
yeah.
will be soon. But like when the trailer drops, like we'll have to kind of retalk about this. But yeah, not too much on the Adventure Time stuff. But
Mm.
I'm excited. I think hopefully soon they'll start releasing more stuff.
Yeah, I'm just fiending. Like, hey, Adam Muto, absolute legend, making the movie, working on the show. Uh, so many great things. Now, here's what you do. The Last of Us, just do that. Literally, just like edit Joel and Ellie to be Simon and Marcy. Boom,
Oh my
money,
god.
money, just instant money. That's all you need to do. Um, and then you don't need to make a second one, because we already know what happens at the end. We already know what happens. He leaves, and Marceline gets a really bad dad, and then she leaves. Boom. All we need is just random misadventures in the wasteland, and I'm set. I'm set. The wallet's here. The wallet's there.
Oh
Down
my
there
god,
somewhere.
bro.
We're good. But
I agree.
You see, there we go. If you had your Adventure Time pitch, what would it be? You could do anything. What's the vision?
That's tough. That's a tough question to ask. I mean, obviously for me, it'd be PB and Marceline. Love to see a couple of their
Oh,
adventures. Just cute little spin-off. 4
okay.
episodes, 5 episodes.
So like Obsidian, the series.
I would love it.
It would
I'd
cook.
love it.
It would cook because that was the best special. I mean, well, oh, that's kind of a hot take because the Finn and Jake together again special was also
That
really
one
good. Yeah.
that one was really good.
So you know what? If you're here for Bubbleen, you're here for Bubbleen, and you know what? I'm here for Bubbleen, so it's the
We're
best
all here
special.
for Bubbling.
If you're not,
Kev,
then I don't know what you're doing here.
let me pee really quickly because
Okay.
we actually been talking before stream. I'm so sorry guys. I will
No,
be
it
right
is all
back.
good. It is all good. Chat, what is good, chat? Shouts to everyone who's here. Brandon King says, by the way, I know it's a bit off topic, but any thoughts on J.G. Quintel's new series he's working on? I do have thoughts on that. We will talk about that in just a second. I am excited. Um, Anyone has any specific questions, definitely let me know. Yo, shouts to Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. Shouts to Bubbleen. They were icons. Looking at the chat really quickly. Give me your thoughts on more gem hybrids from different planets. That would be really cool. I would be down for that 100% because the gem hybrid stuff could be a creepy kind of way of getting in depth with the fusion kind of elements. Like maybe they try to force themselves onto different things, a la Steven being made. That could be kind of crazy. Um, oh, yo, Dak was here earlier. Talk about the NBA. Yo, big up the Pacers. They got to keep up the pace. I'm here for the Pacers. The Pacers are the way. Does anyone know the score of the game? Because I'm rooting for the Pacers. It should be 1-1 right now. I also see some other interesting comments. So glad I listened to you, Kev, and finished Fiona and Cake. The BMO episode wrecked me. That was a Jerry. Shouts to Jerry. Jerry was a masterpiece episode. Simu, Simu Liu. Simon is the emu of Adventure Time. All right, I know about that one. I think the emu of Adventure Time is probably Prismo's boss. We still don't know who Prismo's boss is. I think that's one of the biggest lingering kind of things, especially from season 1 of Fiona and Cake. And we could easily have that character dropped and be like a big deal moment. So that's something I'm kind of thinking of there. Welcome back, Chestnut. I'm just looking at the chat, reading some questions really quickly. We have a Steven Universe question, right? I saw it earlier. Thoughts on gem hybrids from different planets. Now, I feel like I might have been cooking here, right? Technically, Steven is a gem hybrid, but like a successful one. Like imagine they try to do a forced fusion thing with an organic life form and a gem before Steven. And then maybe like Steven was like the only successful thing because, you know, Rose saw like this is possible, like something crazy. Like maybe Rose saw the Diamonds attempt organic gem hybridization beforehand, and maybe even like this could be really cooked. Maybe even with the human zoo, they attempted this kind of stuff, right?
That would be really interesting. I
Yeah.
always love because it's kind of like the gem experimentation theory where it's like there's like some weird gem creatures on Earth that aren't like gems, like the one lizard that like Lion was eating, right? And like
Oh
even like
yeah.
Lion itself, it's like how did Rose know that that would happen? And it's kind of like also like Steven with the watermelon. It's like what if like Rose Quartz, her entire thing was like experimenting to try to combine gem life with like just natural life so that they didn't have to destroy planets to like reproduce.
Oh.
And she finally succeeded when creating Steven. But what if this was something that the other diamonds like were working on as well? Like, what if this was like something that White was working on and was like, you know what I mean? Like, because what happens when the planets go? What happens when you conquer every planet, right?
Mm.
So it's like it could have been something that they were working on, and like in the back of Rose's mind, it's like if I can find something, maybe they don't have to conquer planets anymore, you know?
Yeah, I kind of, I kind of just had a, I don't know if it's a brain blast, but like a thought, right? It seems as though it's, it's like every kind of diamond has a way of connecting with life in some way,
Hmm.
whether it is literally connecting with it, like pink diamond, rose quartz, right, or manipulating it, right? Like blue diamond, her way of connecting with life is emotions. Like that's not a physical thing; it's kind of a mental thing, but it is a connection that she has. Meanwhile, yellow diamond like manipulates it to like change shape and stuff like that, and white diamond just takes it over completely. So it's kind of interesting how they all interact with life in like different ways. Maybe that could be an allusion to how they attempted to do this like organic experiment thing, because I don't know, I just feel like that's intriguing, you know what I mean?
I love that theory. I always think that it's like, why is Pink Diamond like so much younger than the other diamonds, right? Like, what was the point of them having Pink Diamond? What if it was because they were like, we need, like, we're incomplete right now. Like, the three diamonds are incomplete, especially
Mm,
if we want to continue this experimentation. Like, what if Pink Diamond was that final piece to like do that? And it's like, because
yeah.
obviously, like, you want to create like gems without kind of getting rid of yourself. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like, you don't want to like lose yourself, but it's like Rose, or when Pink Diamond became Rose, she was like, I don't mind losing myself, which is why like Steven was successful, because you actually have to give up life in order to create life. Or I
yeah.
guess it's kind of this eternal cycle.
Because it's not, it's like an equivalent exchange, you know what I mean? But like white
Mm-hmm.
diamond, there's no exchange, there's nothing. Um, but it is interesting that you say like the diamonds thought that they needed a fourth, because that kind of implies that they have a connection to this creator of the diamonds character. You know what I mean? More so, what I'm thinking, maybe the creator was like, all right, if I make these things of mine, then how are they going to spread and continue creating autonomously without me making them over and over again? Like something like that, maybe. I don't know.
It is interesting to think like, because the diamonds don't know how to make other diamonds, right? Like, I think
Yeah.
we can confidently say that, because if they did, then they probably would have replaced Pink Diamond at some point. Like, I
Hmm.
know that at least White Diamond would have. Some people think that White Diamond knew that Pink Diamond was rose quartz all along.
There's no
I don't
way.
think that's true.
There's no
There's no
way.
way. It doesn't make sense. Like, she could have had a feeling like maybe Pink Diamond left, but she didn't know Pink Diamond was. But it's like Pink Diamond is gone from this. Like, you still only have three. You have all of this like four diamond like symbolism. There had to be at some point where it's like, if they wanted to make another diamond, then they could. Now, I do think that the cluster was their attempt to basically make a being as powerful as a diamond, but it
Ooh.
obviously never worked. But if that's the case and they have to try to like do it with these kind of roundabout means, then they don't know how to make a diamond, which means either they're naturally occurring, which doesn't really make too much sense, because it's like, if something is naturally occurring, like, why isn't there other diamonds then other than them, right? Like, in an infinite universe there's only like four,
Ooh.
or there's somebody who made it. So it's like, to me, it's like there has to be this sort of creator, and maybe at some point they asked, and like this creator like created four of them and said they're like, there's only four, and like that's it.
That's
And
really
maybe after
interesting.
Pink Diamond left, it's like he's gone. You know what I mean?
Oh, do you think the creator might have been like an organic person of some kind? It could have easily been like an alien thing, not a humanoid,
Yeah.
whatever. And because they passed away, that means the Gem Empire, eventually uh, will change and erode, and just like rocks. That would be really interesting, like thematically. You know.
I do like that. I did have one other theory about diamond creation, and that's that originally the diamonds were planetary weapons that were created during a
Oh.
war, and that's why they break open the core of of a world, like when they pop out. But they weren't ever supposed to be like physical forms. But because they basically took the nutrients from like the core, like the strongest part of a world,
Hmm.
they ended up becoming like beings and kind of taking over. Where it's like there could have been like four like cores basically, and it's like white diamond came first, yellow, then blue, and then later down the line it could have been pink. It's like they could
Oh.
also find that these diamonds are basically biological weapons.
That's really interesting. So you're saying the diamonds themselves came from the cores of these planets they kind of like took over kind of so like a kindergarten experiment but at like the very like epicenter, that's what you're kind of saying.
Yeah, kind of like let's say like two planets were warring, right? The one planet was like, we can't beat them, but what we can do is basically put this like gem in the core of the planet, and they're a weapon. And we'll
Mm.
just blow up their whole planet this way.
Mm.
And like that's how the diamonds kind of started, right? Like on Homeworld. And it's like they have maybe like four of these implanted and they tried it. And then when White Diamond came out, like because it's like diamond essence creates gems. Like if you put diamond essence into the ground, you can create new gems. Where it's like
Mm.
White Diamond was like, oh, like I'm alive. Like I'm here to conquer. Because that's basically like the weapon was made to conquer this other planet to destroy it. And that's what she ends up doing to all of the other planets in the system, right? So it's like kind of like the sick twisted like the creator may actually be dead because White Diamond killed him herself.
Oh, that's the way. I love that. I love the baggage. It's like, oh, if I'm not perfect, what am I? Well, your purpose was to like be a servant to this creator person. Meanwhile, you were the one who killed them in the first place. Like that's poetic. Like it's so like cathartic in a way. It's like so dark and like twisted. So I love that. You know, it's a great like because I'll say I enjoy White Diamond's kind of internal struggle. You know, when it's first brought up, I do feel it kind of gets like confused in future a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that kind of premise. Like, oh, if I'm not perfect, what am I? You know, that's a very relatable thing for some people who view themselves or are viewed by like people in their lives as like, oh, you're so good, you're so there's nothing wrong with you. You know, that kind of mentality. You know, when you have constantly people saying good things about you. So I thought that was a very interesting perspective, and that would be a crazy reveal as well. Like you're talking about the secrets of the Gem Empire. Oh, the secrets is that the Gem Empire killed the person who made the Gem Empire. You know, in some
Yeah, it'd be really
roundabout
cool.
way. You know. Oh my god.
There's so much. There's just so
Absolutely.
much cool stuff.
Yeah, is that big Eden's Blue in the chat? Chess, my guy. Um,
Yo.
I'm just trying to think what I saw a thing earlier. It was you know, a gem hybrid. I could see if there was character growth involved. Jasmith. We're getting back to the Jasper Bismuth. Like, see, people are seeing the vision. You know, Brandon King, you see the vision, man. I appreciate that. Um, Trying to think. Is there anything in specific you wanted to talk about when it comes to your expectations for any of the shows coming up? Because I think it was also Brandon King in the chat brought up JG Quintel's new show. I think that'll
Yeah,
be
there's
cute. It'll be wholesome. I like the art style. I mentioned it earlier actually. It reminded me of this children's book that I'm fairly certain is French called, and I pulled it out of my head somehow. It was called Madeline, and it was like this girl in yellow. I don't know why I remembered it. It was like, you know that scene of the dude in Ratatouille where he gets that flashback? It was like that. I was like, I don't know how I remember this because I think I read it like once, if I even read it. It might have been like a show. I don't know, but I remembered it, and I was like, okay, sure, Madeline. Um, Kind of looks like that. I think it looks cute. I think the one character with the big head looks funny. Uh, who's probably like a smart mutant, you know, kind of like a Xavier, you know, from X Men.
I mean, it looks cool. Like I don't know how in depth the show is gonna be. If it's just gonna be like a cute comedy, or if it's gonna be like an actual drama. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? So I guess I'll have to see. Will I check it out? Probably. I like a lot of his shows. Most of his shows are comedy, so I'm assuming this is gonna be like regular show style comedy, but just in a school. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It,
I'm honestly far more excited for a regular show coming back. Regular show is hype. I love it.
mhm.
There's a lot of great characters in it, so I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see my. Well, it's weird because I say stuff like I can't wait to see what they're up to, but it's not what they're up to. It's what they were up to. Because it's like, from what I'm aware, it's not after the series. Because there was that like big time skip after they got
Hmm.
back from the finale, and then they went forward like a ton of years, right? Um, but I don't think it's going to be after or in between that time skip. I don't fully know what the plan is. If it is in between that, I am excited because then it's like, oh, how are we gonna see the development of all this stuff? Like, my goats, Rigby and Eileen, what are they up to? I need to know. I need to know how the the power couple of all power couples is doing.
I
But
love Rigby and Eileen. They're
see,
so good.
they were great. It's like I didn't care about Eileen really. She was funny, but then I'm like, why do I love this character? Why am I so invested? And obviously, we get to see the goat Muscle Man. He'll return. His mom will return. It'll be great. You know, more Skip's baggage probably. As
Yep,
as
yeah.
it would be. But I feel as though like if it is kind of like a in between thing, I'm a bit conflicted on it. But I would like it to be after, if that makes sense. You know.
I understand that. Like, just I think there was technically a comic that kind of dictated like after like that huge time skip. Like, I think there's a comic that continues that. It's
Oh, okay.
alright from what I've seen.
Okay.
Um, Eden said it's supposed to be like between the time skip, so it's like maybe we'll get to see like a bunch of that stuff.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
okay.
honest. The one thing I hated about the Adventure Time or Adventure Time, God, the regular show ending is that like Mordecai gets together with just some random chick that we have never seen, and it's like I understand it, right? But
It's
it's like if it's
realistic.
it is realistic, but she's like ugly.
That's crazy.
She's just
That's
it's not a good
You're
character
not
design.
rocking
It
with
looks
the
really
bat vibes,
no, bro. She is not looking good. Like
She's
that is
not
the
Rouge the
only thing
Bat.
where it's
She's not Rouge the Bat.
just change the design, bro. Cuz that she looks like she just crawled out of the cave.
Oh my god.
Where it's like Mordecai, like the first two characters that he like has a crush on, right? One of them is Margaret, and
Hmm.
she's just a bird, like fine.
Hmm.
And then you got CJ, and CJ's a baddie, bro. Like CJ is a
CJ
baddie.
CJ changed the game when she showed up. It
Yeah,
was
so
like,
it's like he
wow,
goes,
and a decent person who's like a
but
real fleshed out character and not just insta crush, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is great. You know?
but it's like CJ was like a really well designed character, and then you just go to from like Margaret, who's like has a good design, CJ fantastic design, and then Mordecai's wife, where it's just ugly bat, just ugly. I'm sorry.
You're
I
not
just
seeing the
I
vision.
dis I hate
That's
I hate the design, and I hate the way that their kids look too. The kids look
the
weird.
bird bat people.
I really it makes me itchy.
It's so funny.
It's
I love seeing the high five ghost kids as well. It's like they're just ghosts immediately.
so
It's
funny.
just like it's so funny. Uh, but I, you know, nah, people are hating on the design in the chat too, man. This is
Because it's bad. They're right. It's just it's
but
not a
but
good
him
design.
getting with a random person just hits. Like
I like that it's random. I like that he, you know what I mean? He didn't go back and like have all these retries, and I'm glad he didn't end up with Margaret. I did not want him ending up with Margaret.
he
They would
didn't
have been terrible
deserve to end
together.
up with Margaret. He didn't
But it's
deserve
like
it.
if he's it's like could you like find somebody who doesn't look like they just got hit by a car? Like she just looks so ugly.
You're not rocking with the hey. it's his choice, you know. Mordecai,
It
maybe
is.
he's into the bats, you
It's
know.
actually
He
it's not
clearly
it's not
is.
his choice, bro. They
Clearly.
could have made her design so much better. And it's like I don't even need it to be like I'm not asking for stuff to be more feminine, just more appealing to my eyes. Like the color scheme, it's so ugly and muted. Hold on.
You're pulling up the picture.
Yeah.
She was the artsy Batgirl, you know? That's right up
It's
his alley. It's right
it's
up his
so
alley.
she's so ugly. I'm about to go share this in the Discord right now so that we can see it.
No, I got it.
It's
We're sharing
it's
the
so
screen.
it's so ugly. It's so ugly. It's so ugly. Like this design is terrible. I'm sorry. This is one of the worst design. Like number one, she doesn't even look like a bat. She has like weird armadillo ears. Like this does not look like bat ears. It's just gross and weird. Like goth bat, great idea in concept. This is not good.
The goth bat. This is right up Mordecai's
why
alley.
is her skin? But why is her skin like that?
I don't know.
Like it doesn't. Like she doesn't look like a bat. She
Why
looks like
is-
a weird armadillo.
Why is High Five Ghost
Where are
a
her
High Five
wings?
Ghost? You know.
Where are her wings? Where are her wings?
You know. You can say the same thing about Mordecai.
But Mordecai has like feather hands. She has regular hands. Like she doesn't even have like cool bat hands. She just got regular hands. She's just a regular pale person with fangs, a weird nose that kind of just looks like she looks more like a werewolf than a bat.
I kind of
just
see that.
not a
I
good
kind of see
design.
the vision
Like-
there with that one.
Like and the thing is it's like listen, she would look so good if her face didn't look like that. Like why does her face just not just
Oh, hold
I'm
on.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Seeing.
She's
I'm
just
seeing. Apparently the volume's low. Oh, away from that picture.
I don't know, bro. It's
Um,
it's terrible.
I'm seeing apparently the volume is low, but we're both in the yellow, so I'm kind of. I'll turn you up a little bit though, just to make sure.
Word.
All right. So, you know, I will say, this isn't even meant to be slander. I did not know her name until you just looked up pictures of her in seconds ago. I saw it said
That's what I'm saying.
Steph. I didn't know her name was Steph. I'm sorry, Steph. I didn't understand. I didn't understand.
But it's just like the mouth is just weird looking. Like her face doesn't remind you of a bat at all. Like it looks like somebody was making an OC and was like, "Hi guys, here's my original regular show character, Steph. Steph is a bat, but she doesn't have like and like the interesting stuff that like most people have with like their body features. She just has armadillo looking ears. Her ears don't look like a bat because bat ears don't look like that, right? So like she doesn't have cool ears. Because also I could go about the ears forever where it's like bats do not have that type of ears make absolutely zero sense and they don't even look like bat ears. Like bats don't have like bunny ears on the top of their head. But also her nose doesn't even look right. Like I understand it's a cartoon, but
I don't think they want
it
the
doesn't-
hyper realistic bat nose.
but it's like why are you giving her that type of nose and then not making her face look like a bat? Like it just looks like a very terrible DeviantArt OC. I hate it. Change the design.
Yo, I don't know. We got Brothership in the chat saying I love Steph. So you know what? Shout outs
can't with their
to
ears.
Brotherships rocking with Steph, and I'm happy. I'm happy
She
they're
got like
rocking with Steph.
potato bug ears, bruh. Potato bug ears.
I don't know. Clearly Mordecai loves Steph as well because that's the way the universe rolled. You know, that's how it happened.
Listen, Steph is the original character. That's like the fan fiction.
Steph is
and there
the
he
Steph
was.
is the Sabo of regular show. You know, like, oh, I'm blank. I'm related to blank. I'm blank. You know, have you ever seen that meme? Have you ever seen that meme of Sabo? You have to have seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Sabo where
it's
it's
such a
like
banger.
I'm Luffy's brother.
Yeah,
Long lost. I had amnesia. That's
it's such a
I don't know.
banger. That's such a good picture.
So-
They did that too with a certain character in Elbaf. You know exactly who I'm talking about. A certain character who showed up.
Oh yeah.
That was a great. That was so good when that happened.
Great use of the meme.
Yes. Now let's see. I got it. I got it. Hear me out. I'll be a creator person. How do I? Let's make a poll. Let's make a poll. Whoa.
It's gonna be like,
Um.
do you guys like stuff? And listen, I
No,
think
that's not the poll.
and I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna have like
Thoughts
a
on
maximum
Steph?
of crash out
Yes.
on
No.
The thing is, I actually don't mind if like characters get together with like random people, like, oh, this person they never met. Like, I'm fine with it. Like, I think
Yeah.
Sadie and Shep are a very good couple. I
Mhm.
think Mort. Oh my god, I knew you were gonna do this. No, voting no. and I think that like you know, Mordecai getting with a different person and not going back and really like, you know, growing as a person. I think that's great. I think that's awesome, right? But why? But like, why is Steph? Why her ears look like that? Like, and also, I have no issue with Shep. Like, Shep, I think has a great design. Like, they look awesome.
Mhm.
So like, and the thing is that listen, if we're taking design lessons, I think that, you know, the regular show creators need to take some design lessons. Steven Universe crowd, because like,
Oh.
and the thing is, I think Sadie and Shep, I was gonna say Steph, Shep are a really cute couple. I actually really like them. I just wish that we got a little bit more in the ending of like Lars and Sadie, right? Like, I wanted them to not work out and to see them fail. Like, I wanted to see them fail, but we never got to see them fail. We just got to see them after the failure.
Oh, so you're kind of saying Lars should have had like a, well, no, you're saying Mordecai should have had a Lars-esque moment in a way. You know what I mean? Um, I feel like you get what I'm saying. Like that kind
Yeah,
of.
I mean, he kind of had that with CJ, TBH,
Yeah.
where he, like, in the middle of Mordecai's, like,
Dude
Mordecai's an
ruins
asshole.
everything. Yeah, the fumbler.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest. I actually didn't mind it in regular show that he just got together with some rando. It's just I could not stand the design. It is so ugly. Like, it is just such a non-appealing design where it's like the color is just too light. Like, she looks sickly. She looks like a vampire. Where it's like, if you want
Well,
to make her a vampire, just make her a vampire. Like, don't make her a bat.
you know, that is fair. That is fair. And I don't actually fully remember if there were vampires in regular show. Off the top
I
of
don't
my head.
remember.
Yeah.
Probably.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Probably.
That's the fact. I'm like, probably. But what I was thinking was, but the actual poll. So unfortunately, you know, 2 to 5 people don't like Steph, which is just awful. Like, honestly, guys, I wish you would have liked Steph. I wish you would have liked Steph. But the actual poll is going to be talk about our expectations for. Oh yeah, how do I end poll? There we go.
Yeah, you're gonna end this poll first.
So, I can't believe no won by 1 vote. Horrific. Sorry if you can hear me typing.
Eden said he doesn't think there were any vampires, which actually is crazy. I think there were werewolves. And the werewolves all had better designs than Steph.
All right. So I put in this poll here. Now you get to torture yourselves. Which one are you more so feeling out of these two? What's you more so feeling? I'm expecting Lars of the Stars will win, to be fully honest with you, because it's a hot topic and people are excited and have been fiending, you know, chomping at the bit for more of this world building and essentially the baggage. You know, we need the baggage. You know, as we need the baggage. So
I'm gonna be honest. I'm more excited for Lars just because I kind of know more what I'm getting into. Like, there's so much Steven Universe lore about it that it's like Lars is a pre-established character. I understand what we're getting. Where it's like with Fiona and Cake, yeah, she had season, but like Simon was the big character, right?
Yeah.
So it's like without him, it's like I'm a little anxious. I'm a little scared.
I kind of agree because I remember when I first heard the premise, I was like, "Oh God, this might suck." Like I was like, "What are they doing?" You know. But then I saw Simon was there, and I'm like, I'm locked in now. I'm now invested. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like now I'm here, but now I actually care about Fiona and everyone else. I'm like, oh, now I'm just here forever. I saw Brandon King says in the chat, since we're here, favorite Halloween terror tales, which was their like Treehouse of Horror, kind of Halloween anthology funny bit. I don't remember if it was in one of them, but I remember the one I just immediately think of is Mordecai doing trick or treating with these like fake kids.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? I remember that. That was so funny. And I remember there was another crazy visual. So Muscle Man, he's like getting dragged into the woods, right? He's just gone. He comes back, no skin. He's just like literally.
I told you it was all muscle, bro.
Yeah, it's like,
I love that.
Oh my god, it's so.
That's the one where
up.
Rigby turns into a house and the wizard like pelts him with eggs. I love that.
Oh, that was a funny one too. I also remember. I don't think they were all the same, unless they were, and I'm just conflating it to be like different ones. There's another one where Pops had like that Goosebumps puppet, like the creepy puppet that was like alive. I remember that too. But I don't think that was one of the Halloween ones. I feel like they just had horror stuff occasionally. You know what I mean?
No, that was the Halloween one. It's like I just want to draw on his face.
Draw on your face.
Oh
yes. Don't draw on my face. Wow.
Oh, regular show is so peak.
You're gonna get drawn on. You're gonna get drawn on. I'm trying to think. That's all I can think of like the top of my head. I think there was another one. Oh, it was the Crash Pit. The Crash Pit.
The Crash Pit.
and I think it might have been a Halloween one, but I don't know.
It was.
You know?
That was a Halloween one.
Yeah, and I'm just like, the Crash Pit. I don't know why the way they said it always made me laugh. And then I think Muscle Man like turned into a ghost because he died, obviously, in the Crash Pit.
I think High Five Ghost is in that one, and I think he just stayed a ghost.
Yeah, he's just like, oh well.
Oh
my god.
those are awesome.
Yeah. Oh, let's see the poll right now, and let's see. Yep, as I assumed, Lars of the Stars is destroying the poll. And to be fair, I would say as it should, because it's like I said, a hot topic. You know, people are invested, and I need the baggage. Now, I will say one last thing, because it is 10 o'clock for myself, and I assume it is for you as well, as we are in the same time zone. So, I'm so excited for what's to come. I feel like this week in general has had so many like amazing reveals for me personally. Like this is I would say like genuinely this week has probably been like the most insane like back to back like dropping or reveals, or you know what I mean, like the Switch 2 with Mario Kart. There's news about the Sonic game. Like bro, you're telling me Hatsune Miku is gonna be messing around with Sonic the Hedgehog? Like that's crazy. And then we got
Hatsune Miku?
Is that Hatsune Miku? And not even that. They're gonna do a bunch of other Sega stuff, which is kind of what I hope for. So that's really cool. Then we got a remake of one of my favorite games ever, Persona 4. You know, that's gonna be absolutely phenomenal. I have no doubts in my head for that one. And then, you know, we get all this cartoon stuff dropping too. Like the more just insanity, it keeps like piling, you know, on and on and on. Continuity. That was the word from all the way back at the beginning of the stream.
I knew you would find it eventually, bro. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sure it'll come back to you.
That was the word. It was like, I was like thinking like,
that's crazy.
But that is the word, you know, the good sense of continuity in Steven Universe's lore. You know, they keep it moving. I can't believe it took an hour and 45 minutes to figure out that word. But yeah, a lot of amazing reveals, at least in my opinion. And you know, How about you? Would you say like how out of 10 hyped are you for anything regardless of these announcements? Like has there been anything you have gotten news for that was like, whoa, that wasn't
I
even
mean,
this?
the Sonic stuff has been awesome. I am so hyped by that.
Hmm.
Um, the Switch 2 looks pretty good. I'm probably gonna buy it when Pokemon comes out because that's like one of the big games that I've been playing.
Oh
But
yeah.
honestly, I've been kind of like, because I've been hearing little things about like Steven Universe coming back. Like Ian, one of the creators of the show, like I think he's married to Rebecca. He's been
Okay.
like dropping little hints, and I've been like, oh, I needed to come back. And honestly, like there's so many cartoons that are coming out. Like the Amazing Digital Circus too. That one has been kind of dropping hints. Like I've been really excited this when that an episode comes out either this week or next week. I think it's gonna come out next week. Now that I'm thinking about it, it'll probably drop next week, which will be perfect. But it's like just kind of hearing all this stuff. Like my favorite series is coming back, like regular show, a new Fiona and Cake, and then Gumball is coming back too. And Gumball was like my childhood show where it's like I love Steven Universe. It was
Hmm.
like I think like currently like probably one of my favorite cartoons, like not counting like Gravity Falls, but like Gumball was the show when I was a kid. I turned that on. Like if I saw Gumball was on like the TV, that's the show
That's
that
the
was
one.
getting turned on.
It's the
Like that
one.
was like it's getting turned on. It's going on. Like that was like the I'm in high school. I'm turning on Gumball. Like I'm not watching the Kardashians. I'm turning on the
I love the segue. The
so.
Kardashians, Gumball.
What's all of, like the teen? I don't know. I don't know what teens used to watch. We were talking about like Love Island and
Oh, big
the
big drop, guys. Big drop. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, season 2. Gotta watch it. It's phenomenal television. Like, don't
uh
sleep on this show. You won't believe what happens. I'm not
reality
caught
TV has
up.
gotten so much better.
Awful. Like truly like this show phenomenally like these people are cartoon characters. We were talking about actual cartoon characters. No, this is next level. This is next level. Uh, Amazing television. I've also been watching a show, Breaking Amish. Fire, fire show. Insane. Also, I completely forgot to mention. I actually did want to mention this earlier. Um, the goat, Gendy Tartakovsky. He's working on a movie about like a dog that got some more announcements as well, and they revealed Primal season 3. And Primal's a show I absolutely loved watching. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It was
Never seen it before.
It's really cool. It is rather similar to Samurai Jack because the main character is a caveman, so he literally just doesn't
Mm,
talk. You know what I mean?
I know what show you're talking about.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I remember one of my favorite things like I've ever seen. I was so locked in. Was it was one day. I don't know if I was in college or high school at this point, but I came home because I was at my home and I was watching TV like as I'm going to bed, Adult Swim. And there was an episode of Primal, and I'm like, oh, I like the show. And then out of nowhere, right? The show's about cavemen. It takes place now. It's in like the 1600s, 1700s, England. People are talking. I'm like, what am I watching right now? This is like a completely.
This is animated, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's gorgeous as well. It Amazing action, and of course, since there's little to no dialogue for like most episodes, it's very like cinematic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great show. But like this episode, out of nowhere they're talking. I'm like, what is happening in this show right now? It was genuinely probably one of the best like TV like random moments I've ever had, and I don't know. I would highly recommend it if you've never seen it. Great
I've
action
never seen
cartoon.
it. I have seen like I think I've seen a couple clips of it, and I've seen like posters
Mhm.
for it, but I've never actually watched it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it is
I
100% worth the watch.
I
100%.
gotta finish Amphibia first though. I
Oh,
gotta get on that.
you absolutely do. You absolutely do. And shouts to Brandon King. made this thread on Twitter and added me because I gas up the show quite a lot, and it was this really awesome like thread about they went through the series and their thoughts on it and the evolution of the characters and stuff like that. So hey, if Brandon King wrote a whole thread on it, I'm fully
Oh my
expecting the
god.
Chestnut Amphibia video. Eventually.
I will. I think my so like for my video creation, like because
Mhm.
I'm hoping to get more long form videos out. I'm hoping that they do better, but I'll probably do like a Steven Universe video and then like another video and drop it because now I have like a video editor. So I'm gonna try to do like a
There
bunch
we
of
go.
Steven Universe content and then like Amphibia, like looking back on it. Gravity Falls and Owl House video was a Steven Universe video in between. So I'm gonna try to balance it. But I mean I've seen some things from Amphibia that I'm like I shouldn't be watching this. I cannot be
Oh
spoiled.
no.
So I'm like okay, I need to like see it. I like swipe immediately and like I have. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping to watch. I'm hoping to finish it soon. I really
Yeah,
just gotta
you'll see
put
the
my mind
vision
to
with
it.
Sasha, the goat, the best character, Sasha.
I did see in the art book, Sasha and Anne together as adults. I did see that picture in the art
Oh,
book. So
I'll need to grab. I have the art book right over there in my line of vision. I still need to read it. I'm definitely gonna make stuff on it because I'm obsessed with this show. Um, so you know what? That's a good call. I also have an art book over here, down there right now. Boom. I don't know if you see me pointing to it.
I do
Um,
see you pointing to it.
yeah, it's an IDW Sonic art book thing. I'm planning on making videos on that as well. I saw some really cool like prototype designs and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah. So,
I have the first 3 volumes, like hardcover of the
oh,
IDW
you got the
Sonic.
like the thick, like,
Yeah, hold on.
dude, that's awesome.
Actually, I'll just come show.
Oh my
Here's
god.
my, here's my Shonen
Oh,
Jump.
that's sick. That's sick.
I have
Big
the
old
IDW
collection
collection.
thingies.
I have the Knuckles one as well, but I don't know where that one is. It's somewhere.
It's around. It's around. You know.
It's in the general vicinity of my room.
It exists. I feel like. Um. Oh, actually, really, really interesting segue. So, Matt Brawley, the creator of Amphibia, he's actually doing a book tour right now. He just recently released a graphic novel, and I am planning on getting it, right? But really cool. In no, in about two to 3 weeks, in between that time, he's actually going to be in Philly, doing a book tour, and I'm 100% going to be like, hey Matt, thank you, you are awesome.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
You have to get your art book signed.
oh, I didn't even think about that. Actually, that's sick. Like I'm dead serious. I didn't think about that. That's duh. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. Very excited for the future of animation, gaming, all that.
It's looking
And
good.
when I get the Switch 2, and you also get the Switch 2, we got to run it on like Mario Kart or something. It'll
Absolutely.
be
We still gotta
crazy.
run it on Fortnite.
True, true. I
What?
was telling Chestnut, dude. Marceline was cranking those 90s. Like we gotta lock in. We gotta lock in. The Fortnite stream,
I'm
dude.
so down.
Fortnite's not gonna know what hit him after we.
Fortnite stream would be crazy,
It would go
Kev.
hard. It would go hard. I'm trying to make the Twitch like more active because I want to use the Twitch for like gaming kind of vibes. Because I'm gonna start doing episodes of One Piece reactions on Twitch, and then
Nice.
I could, because like I'm gonna be for real. I don't really care about having the reactions out like, oh, I need it out the second the episode is out. You know what I mean? It's like I'm here for the vibes. I already know what's gonna happen. For the most part. I just want to cry, and watch watch good One Piece,
I want to feel
and
those
just
emotions.
like be like, here I am. We're here for the baggage. Um, but yeah, I'm probably gonna do stuff like that, and reactions to episodes and gaming. Nothing too crazy, and I'll probably keep YouTube for like chapter reactions or discussion. Stuff like that. But yeah, Fortnite it
Yeah.
is. Fortnite it is.
Bet.
Um, well, Chestnut, where can these lovely people go to find you? Where can they go?
I have three platforms which I'm very active on.
Mm.
Those are TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I post daily content, mostly about cartoons, sometimes about anime, if I'm feeling it. But most of the time, I'm talking about indie animations, popular cartoons, or everything in between. So if you guys want to follow me over there, I do release long form videos. I did release a Gumball long form video not too long ago. You guys should check that out. I do think that theory is pretty good. But also, thank you so much, Kev, for having me on your channel. I appreciate you streaming, considering that my computer is a potato waiting to burst open into flames. Which is
The
why I
baked
had to buy
potato.
a brand new computer. Everything is brand new except the GPU, which God no, I'm not buying that right now.
Hmm.
That's a tax write-off.
There we go.
But
There we
yeah,
go.
thank you.
Shouts to
I
tax
had to because
write-offs. Shouts to tax write-offs.
I literally cannot stream because my computer broke.
Mm.
But I do appreciate you having me on so much, guys.
Yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. And Brandon King, you say this in the chat, and I don't mean to dismiss you. I don't mean to dismiss you, but you say this question. Kev hit you with a hard question. Marcy from Amphibia or Marcy from Adventure Time? Now I'm gonna let you know this right now. Marceline from Adventure Time, Marceline Abadir, is probably my favorite character of all time. So you're not gonna don't question the loyalty I have to this legend, okay? Now Marcy Wu, great character. Very cool. But there's levels to this game. There's levels to this
There's levels to
game.
this.
There's levels to this game. Like
I love it.
if Marcy had a stakes, maybe. But you know, Marceline had a stakes, and that's what's up. Anyhow, tangent, but Chestnut, I greatly appreciate you coming here to talk about the brain rot, with me because you know what, you get it, you get it.
I've been living it all day, bro. I've been so excited for this.
Yeah,
So thank you, dude.
and I feel like we talked a lot of cool theorization. Like I already was excited for Lars of the Stars because the goat Pad Paradsha is going to be back. You know, one of my favorite Steven Universe characters, and now I feel like the mutual like hype for it made me have a lot more thoughts that went through my head. Like I didn't think about the gem hybrid stuff until I think it was Brandon King. It might have been Straw Hat Lucas who brought it up, but I didn't think about that. And now I'm like, wait, how deep is this going? Like and then the gems with like a purpose, like the creator and law, like there's so much intricacy.
So much.
I feel so. Yeah, I feel like this is a great discussion, and I appreciate you for stopping by, and I appreciate everyone in the chat for stopping by, and for the people who are chatting, members, donators, all of that. It means a lot. It means a lot. If you guys appreciated this kind of discussion video, let me know because I'm rocking with the discussion vibes. I kind of want to restart some more like long form discussion videos as well, and I feel like this was a lot of fun. So
It was a lot of fun.
yeah, all right, but you guys, shout outs to everyone who's here. I'm boiling alive, so I'm gonna end the stream. Take care
Peace.
and have a good one.